Hi, and welcome back to the channel. Usually, when I review films on this channel, I make notes while watching the film that I'm going to be reviewing, and then I compile them into a script, and then I read it into the camera. But this time, I thought I'll do something different. I thought I'll have a conversation about this film that I watched with you all. And partly also because Weapons did not allow me to take notes. I was just glued to the screen and on the edge of my seat throughout the movie. While going in for Weapons, I did not know what to expect actually, because what I learned from the trailer was like made known to me um, within the first 2 minutes of the film, which is 17 children from the same classroom go missing um, at exactly 2:17 a.m. in the night. I'm sorry if I got the timestamp wrong, but yeah, that's about it. That's all you learn from the trailer, and you get to know this within the first 2 to 3 minutes of the film. And so yeah, it's like a blank screen. You don't know what's going to happen. Um, and then by the end of the film, you definitely learn what happened, but in a very chaotic fashion. So usually screenplays are sort of straightforward, or they are inverted, like a flashback situation. But this one is, I don't know, it's such a hodgepodge way of telling a story, but it is effective. I'll tell you that much. The way they have divided the story or the film is like see the events or the incidents that are happening through different perspectives, right, of different characters. And by the time you reach the latter half of the second half of the film, you can somewhat now connect the dots that, okay, this happened, that happened. And you can make a like order of things in your head, like a chronological order of things in your head of how the story must have unfolded. But the way this has been done, the way this has been executed is kind of brilliant, to be honest, because combined with the correct cinematography, the gritty, dim lit, or like that cold tone sort of feel to it, and then this sound design, which is also great, is very immersive and makes you like, yeah, makes you feel scared, but also interested in what's going on at the same time. You know, there are no jump scares. Like it's not conventional, this kind of storytelling in any respect. So there are no jump scares. It is a thriller. It is supposed to be scary, this movie, but you'll catch yourself laughing more often than you would catch yourself scared. So that's saying something. Um, and leading up to all this, leading up to a climax, which is almost Tarantino-ish in the way it unfolds, because there's blood, there's violence, there's children engaging in violence, which is not such a good thing. But when you watch it, you sort of feel like, I don't know, like it's a cathartic experience. It's visceral, because I remember during the end scene of the movie, the whole theater was just filled with laughter and just claps. Like everybody was so happy, um, because it's a lesson in karma. I know I'm saying a lot of things about the movie at the same time, and which could confuse you easily as to what this movie is really about. But I'm not doing it on purpose. The movie watching experience is also just like that, because I remember much later in the film, till like maybe the second half, I was just like, what is this film trying to be? You know, um, with all its problematic characters, this supernatural thing that has happened, um, or like this mystery of the children being missing. Like, what is it? Um, but then, second half, towards the end of the movie, everything makes sense. And I really enjoy these kind of movies, which kind of give you enough to stay hooked, but then this at the same time they keep you like in the dark, so you cannot really figure out what has happened. It You have to completely rely on the storyteller to tell you what happened, but there'll be breadcrumbs that you can just attach yourself to. Let's talk about the performances. Mm, Julia Garner has always impressed me whenever I've watched her. I think I have watched her in two things that I can recall, which is Ozark and Inventing Anna. And she has really cracked playing these morally ambiguous, grey characters. Somehow she's just and this badass energy that she brings. I think she's just done a fantastic job in this film as well. Um, so she is the homeroom teacher of these children that have gone missing. Important note, which you will also learn in the film, like initially, there's one child who's not gone missing from the class. His name is Alex. So naturally, Julia's character, Mrs. Gandy, is her name, I think, takes sort of sort of upon takes it upon herself to uncover this mystery. She feels upset and at fault about it, and the townsfolk are not making it any easier because they constantly blame her. Like it's almost like they paint her out to be a witch, a lot like our news channels do, because they're all angry. And she takes it upon herself to sort of cross every line there is to be crossed and find out why these children went missing, like to get to the bottom of this mystery. Then there's Mr. Archer, who happens to be the father of one of the children who went missing, Matthew, I think. And he particularly hates Julia's character, Miss Gandy, because he's like, how is she just roaming around freely when these children have gone missing? She definitely has something to do with it, even though the police tell him otherwise. But because he's so, convinced, because of course he's grieving, so all this rational thinking and all he cannot do. So he's convinced that it's Miss Gandy's fault. So he follows her around, and then eventually these two team up and they're like, okay, we will figure out what is this, where are these children, what's happening in our town. So that's how the story progresses. There are other characters like this policeman, a married policeman that Miss Gandy has an affair with, because as I said, morally ambiguous character, very grey. To be honest, half this film, Miss Gandy, Julia's character, is just having vodka. Like on a stakeout situation at night, she passes out because she's had too much vodka. Then there is a little this character of a junkie, like who wants to get drug money and finds himself in the middle of all this chaos. No fault of his own, just because he wanted drug money and he was like, okay. So yeah, he's there. Who else? And then there's one major character, which I'm not going to talk about because that's the essence of the film. Yeah, those are the characters. That is the story. What I absolutely loved about the film, as I said, was it made me laugh more than it made me scared. There is this absurdity, in its essence. Like you don't know what will come to you the next moment. Like this one scene where, which is there in the trailer also, a character is running towards Julia's character, Miss Gandy, almost weaponized with like thirst for blood, like towards her, and you have no idea why this is happening. And then slowly but surely you get to know, as I said, that through in the first half things are just unraveling, like just one after the other. These things are being thrown at you, and you're like, okay, I'm confused now. And then the second half does a great job in sort of um, helping you put the pieces back in place and make a sense out of whatever this is. What else? So yeah, the screenplay is very fresh. As I said, the ending, the climax is very Tarantino-ish. I think Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, like that. And yeah. Okay, that's about it. That's what I thought about the film. I do want to talk about Zach's interview, like the filmmaker's interview, in which he spoke about how he wrote this movie, like after one of his closest friends died, as a release, and he did, like, it was a cathartic experience for him, writing the film, and he sort of just started writing without having a story in mind. Without having a structure in mind, he sort of just wrote it as it came to him, and this is actually beautifully reflected in the film. Whether it be its chaotic structure or the way you feel after the movie is over, because it is like a whoof, you feel lighter. One more thing that he spoke about, which is his personal story, his childhood, which was not such a great childhood. It was difficult to live in that house that he grew up in because he had an alcoholic parent. He himself struggled with alcoholism for the longest time. So yeah, he says that he views alcohol as this foreign entity that has entered into his house and made everything go haywire. And he, as a kid, is stuck in the middle of all this. So these two things actually do get reflected very well in the story. How that happens, you have to find it out for yourself. Yeah, I think I should end the video now because I've switched off the fan and the AC to record, and I'm beginning to sweat like crazy. So yeah, let me know how you liked this video. Let me know if you enjoyed watching Weapons and what you thought about it. Also, I'm thinking I should do some recommendation videos on this channel. So let me know if you would want to hear about those as well. I'm sorry if this video wasn't as good as the previous ones, but I'm trying something new, so bear with me. Subscribe to my channel, because, like, please. And be good. Bye.